He's my guy right there. WDAE Safe Man, the one and only highly rated morning show, as I saw today on the social media platforms. Rocking the Army Navy hat. It's the one and only Aaron Jacobson. What's going on, brother? How are you?
What's up, man? That setup is so sick.
Thanks, buddy. Trying to get it. Bro, I got more stuff I'm going to add to it, too. I have my Rays jersey with the background, too. I don't know if I ever showed you this, but I got the Jay Recher, because, we both like our number 10.
Yep.
Jay Recher creamsicle there.
I love it.
I got the white creamsicle coming too. It helps when you know people in the in the shop there at Ray J. That's for sure.
It is beautiful. Hey, real quick betting.
Yep.
Kucherov MVP
every year. every year, bet it, right? I mean, why the hell not? I think that's the thing with that and points, right? I don't know if you could do futures on points, but with those two guys, if they stay healthy, I mean, I think
Kucherov 120 last year.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to think it's going to be over 100 with his eyes closed.
I know. I mean, like a couple of years ago, my one big bet, and I told you about this, was star defensemen and their team winning. So star defensemen with over 1 point and their team winning, and it won like 85% of the time when I went back and did the math. But it was like you have to wait a little while to see what teams are going to be good. But Cale Makar and Victor Hedman were like the shoe-ins. Adam Fox and Glenn Hughes locks.
Yeah,
and I think the Hard Rock bet, they picked up on it because then they started doing 2 points for the defenseman. I was like, you sons of
They'll
bitches.
Do that. They're not going to
They knew that.
They
knew that.
They know what's up.
So highly rated morning show. Tell us all about that. I saw that.
Yeah, it's been going well. Big thanks to the listeners. Jay, we've been in this business together for how long? Since 2012, whatever.
Long time, buddy.
Very, very long time. So it takes time. It's hard. There's no perfect equation to it. But it's just it's been a good ride. It's the Goon Squad coming up.
No doubt about it. One of the original Goonettes, Grandma turned 88 last week. I told her that you guys sent her well wishes. She was very happy. She was chilling, doing good. And then I saw T-Crash yesterday saying that things are going well. So all is well over there at WDAE. All right, give me. I saw you at the press conference yesterday. After watching it and just seeing it, and I try to be more optimistic than pessimistic, but I just don't know. I had a feeling that they were going to focus on the stadium before, putting a bunch of money onto the payroll. But I walked away from the press conference going, I don't really know how much we learned. What did you learn? What were some of the big things that stood out to you after the presser?
Well, first of all, I mean, you've been through this saga just as long as any one of us. And
right.
We've been to these announcements with Stu Sternberg before, obviously the previous owner. This is a new regime, but the message kind of got lost over the years because it was like, here we go again. It was like the boy who cried wolf, just with stadium announcements. So it was hard to really decipher what we could believe is really in the works, what's going to happen, and what's just kind of talk, throwing it up in the air. The energy was different yesterday in that press conference. And I don't think it was just me. I think the new blood, fresh faces, new ownership, there was an excitement and an energy when it started. And it's not just Stu Sternberg. We're talking the three people here who are front and center, right? So they all have their individual roles that they're going to be playing here. The thing that surprised me was how the process seems to be already on its way / expedited. 2029 is the goal to have this thing ready to go, this new stadium, which is very aggressive. And I know a lot of people in Tampa Bay love an aggressive timeline where they're done with the stadium saga, as was noted by Ken Babby yesterday, that these fans have seen enough when it comes to the stadium saga. So they got to get that done. 100 acres of land is what they're looking for. To me, that cancels out. I live in Channelside. I was hoping Ybor City, selfishly, for reasons I don't have to explain, that they would be near me. I don't think that's going to happen. 100 acres, that's ambitious for that area, for redevelopment of the land to get 100 acres. They also don't want somewhere where it's far out away from everything just because it's land. They don't just want land. So if I had to put my money on it, the fairgrounds sounds like the perfect partnership. You've got the Hard Rock right there with everything going on there. You can build, you can develop the area. There's a lot of other logistics that go into it because it's used for the fairgrounds. So I think there was no real big surprises to me yesterday. The one theme was have to get the stadium done, have to get the land, and have to redevelop the area to look like Atlanta was the example they kept using, the Battery, because they need to make sure that the money is generated, revenue is generated from that redevelopment.
I had Rich Hollenberg on last week, and him and I were speaking, and he said something that I don't think a lot of people were really talking about, because you don't want to kind of be the fly in the ointment here when there's a lot of positivity. But he said there could be some lean years ahead for the Tampa Bay Rays over the next couple of years because of the focus on the stadium before putting that focus on injecting some more life and some more, finances into the payroll. Do you agree with that sentiment? Because the more and more I think about it, I think Rich may be onto something here.
If you had asked me last week, the same time you asked Rich, I would have said no. This ownership group understands the undertaking. I know they're going to have to spend a lot of money to get the team. They're going to have to spend a lot of money on the ballpark. But why would they take this task on if they didn't try to make sure they brought the payroll up as well? And I thought it would be a process that we would see in the near future. And after yesterday, I completely changed my view on that. Rich was right. Pat, and Rich seems to be right. Pat, my co-host in the morning, Pat Donovan, he mentioned this to me last week as well. He's like, I wouldn't be so sure if they're going to spend that money right away. I'm not as optimistic as you are. And I heard that message loud and clear in the announcement yesterday in the press conference. This ownership group, in order for them to have the money to spend, they need to generate the revenue through the ballpark. They have to have people in that area that are going to use that multi-purpose entertainment center, a bunch of restaurants, all these things. Mm-hmm. They're going to need people to use it and spend money there and generate the revenue. That is when they will be able to start emptying their pockets and put that cash back into this team, into this payroll. But that's going to be years. Even if that starts in 2029 with the new stadium, you're going to have to take some time to generate that revenue that they're talking about. So I think this is going to be a much longer process than I had first anticipated, and I wish it wasn't.
Yeah, it sounds like this team is going to have to take some lumps in the meantime and still kind of operate the way that they've been doing. All right, put on your pessimist hat. I love you when everybody else is all optimistic. What worried you about your worry man, safe man? Was there anything that worried you or anything that you kind of were, maybe didn't understand from yesterday, or was everything clear?
No, not because it was so fresh. I know typically I'm like looking for work about it. It just finds me, but no, it's the only concern would be the players. Like, I wanted a big offseason. I wanted a Kyle Tucker type of offseason, and that's just not going to happen. There were so many opportunities this offseason, and I know Pete Alonso, like, it doesn't make a ton of sense to put him on this team with what their needs are. But a Kyle Tucker does make sense, right? So we're in a weird time right now, and I know a lot of studs are coming out of Tampa, but you got the stars have aligned where you could actually bring a star back home and create a lot of buzz, and I just don't see that happening. So for me, that's where I'm, the glass half empty today, but I'm not alone in that. Typically I'll find something where I'll be in a corner alone yelling at the clouds, not in the
Yeah, I mean, you're right, man. I mean, you look at some of the guys just in this postseason alone, right? Like Parker Messick gets called up at the end of the season for Cleveland, and he helps lead them to an unlikely postseason berth. I know he dropped the pop-up last night, but Addison Barger, King High School graduate, playing third base for the Toronto Blue Jays. We already know about Alonso and Tucker. Like, I really hope that that's something going forward that the Rays look at and go, hey, man, you want to generate some good, like, feel good type of like energy and get people to, all right, buy uniforms and show, buy jerseys and be able to show up. Like, having a homegrown kid doesn't hurt. I mean, look at Brett Phillips was a great story. He just announced his retirement the other day. I mean, yeah, he was great. We loved him. But another reason why people loved him so much is because he was from here. Like, he was from this neck of the woods. Another reason why people love Shane McClanahan's the USF grad. People still love Doug Wechter because he's here. Like, Aaron,
you know that,
they're
trying
man.
to make Volpe a thing in New York. Like, they want his hometown kid to work, but and sometimes it does with him, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah, you never know what the hell's going to happen with that. All right, so what do the Rays do? How would you address it then? If you're not going to be able to spend a lot of money, if you got to go out and improve this roster, what do you think in top of your mind?
I mean, listen, Eric Neander is the guy who's going to be in charge of baseball operations. They've made it very clear, the new ownership group, that they're going to leave that up to him. So I think what we're going to see is business as usual with the Rays. They're going to have to build up that bullpen. The bullpen was horrible this year. You got to get guys back from injury, Shane McClanahan being the first of the bunch. But aside from that, I think the Rays are going to have one of the best infields in all of baseball next year. Yandy Diaz, Jonathan Aranda, DH first base, Brandon Lau at second base. Your left side of the infield, now that Carson Williams is coming and has been here and has gotten some time to feel comfortable. Junior Camanero's a superstar already. I would love for them, and they'd never do. They have to address the catcher position, but we could just say that every single year. They get no offensive production from the catching position, and you see a guy who probably is going to get the MVP in Cal Raleigh. switch hitting catcher who's hitting bombs. It would love to get a guy. You're not going to get a Cal Raleigh, but you'd love to find a guy like that. Speaking of Cal Raleigh, you want to hear my gripe today? What people are killing me for? And I don't know. You might agree with me. You might not.
Okay.
I won't be offended. People are saying that Cal Raleigh hit his 61st home run when he launched a home run in the playoffs. No, he did not. He hit 60 home runs, and now he has one postseason home run.
All right. I'm going to give my opinion on this.
Yeah, and I'm good either way.
And I am going to 1,000% agree with my guy, Aaron Jacobson. This is not college football. This is not college basketball. Okay. Those are the two sports where your statistics carry over to tournament play.
Points.
It does not happen in the 4 major professional sports. When people talk about career points for LeBron passing Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, it's not career points plus playoffs. It's career points in the regular season, and then the playoffs are completely separate. They don't talk about the goals for Alexander Ovechkin and include the ones in the postseason. So, yes, I'm with you 100%. My man hit 60 home runs in the regular season, 1 in the postseason.
61's a
it's great
number.
Yeah.
Like we married.
Yeah.
Big number with Ruth. Like you start being like, he hit 61. No, he didn't.
No. And it's funny, too, because Cal Raleigh, Florida State grad. And do you remember Cal Raleigh was the name that Hoppy brought up that one time on the show? Do you remember that?
What? Holy moly, it was.
How crazy is that?
Because we were
trying, for those just tuning in, when Ryan Hoppy was their producer, there was a thing where we would say I was helping him out with a segment on the show. And it was like, all right, well, we want Pat and Aaron to be able to kind of speak about different things. So it was like a team or a player, and it like mostly local and mostly big names. But then out of nowhere, Ryan Hoppy goes, Cal Raleigh, and you and Pat and the majority of the audience were like, because at the time he wasn't this Cal Raleigh.
I know,
he was just like
back,
he was just he was a decent player, but he wasn't the big dumper now as he is. And now you look at it like 2 years later.
I knew nothing about him, and I'm like, it's crazy to think the evolution of some of these guys and what they can do in a couple of years and become the stars.
I know, man. All right, take me through the Buccaneers win over the Seahawks. When you're watching that game unfold, what is going through your mind as that last kick goes through the uprights from Chase McLaughlin and this team moves to 4-1 on the season?
They did it again. They did it again. Somehow they did it again, and they find different ways to do it. And they are certainly giving fans heart attacks all across with the play and the frenetic pace, and you never know what's going to happen. Defense has been battling injuries. Like, totally would have understood if they went out West Coast, kept a close game, but lost that game with all their injuries. They battled, and they gave up a ton of points in the second half, but they also scored a ton of points in the second half. So we see what Liam Cohen's doing in Jacksonville. Hats off to them. They look good, but Josh Grizzard's done a really good job, and you're seeing him evolve as well. 3 straight years, 3 first-time offensive coordinators, and all of them seeming to find their way early on. Let's just hope for the Buccaneers' sake this offense continues to grow and Josh Grizzard doesn't go anywhere. But very positive. Levante David making a huge play at the end of the game. Opportunistic. I've been talking about this team not being opportunistic enough on defense, turning balls over. Well, want to hit you in the hands, hit you in the chest, you got to do it. That's a big play. That helped win. That really was the game.
Aaron, as a guy that grew up rooting for the Jets, and this is something that, I talk about a lot on the show, half of my family being Jets fans, you and T-Kraz obviously growing up and supporting the Jets. I was not thrilled with the appointment of Todd Bowles as the head coach early on. I have completely done a 180. I supported him big time in the offseason when everybody wanted to go with Liam Cohen. And shout out to the Jaguars and Liam Cohen. It's worked out really good. Big win for them on Monday Night Football over the Kansas City Chiefs. But what can you say about a guy like Todd Bowles, who isn't, he's no spring chicken. He's not in his 40s like we see a lot of these young, head coaches in sports. You want to get the new hot young assistant, right? But Todd Bowles, man, and his evolution as a head coach and being more open-minded to changing his staff and bringing in a guy to help him with clock management, knowing when to go for 1 and when to go for 2. I saw you guys talking about it the other day on the show on Monday, but man, I think that's probably maybe surprise is too strong of a word, but I think it's one of the biggest things that I noticed about this Buccaneers team, because I was so apprehensive about him being the head coach, is the growth of Todd Bowles. What say you?
It's the evolution, and that's what you want to see. Growth of anyone, whether it's a player growing in his role as a player on the field or a coach growing in his role. And I think we see a lot of things, whether you're a quarterback for the Jets, Sam Darnold, or you're a coach for the Jets, Todd Bowles, that New York, some places like they're just different, and you got to get another chance. You got to get an opportunity, and for that to be your first chance as a head coach is really tough. And you're always going to take lessons. You're going to take, growing pains, learning lessons. Raheem Morris in Atlanta would tell you that he's learned a lot from his first go around with the Buccaneers as the head coach there before he got his other opportunities. So for Todd Bowles, and I think a lot of people, there's too many people that will have a take. They'll say Todd Bowles is a bad coach. From years ago, that was their take. And they feel like they can't adjust and move off of that take. Well, why? If Todd Bowles is going to grow as a head coach, why can't you grow within that take?
Right.
And I'm with you. I've done the 180 as well. I was calling for this guy's head a couple of years ago. I didn't think he had this team. All I had to do, first of all, last year, hearing from players in the locker room saying, you guys got it all wrong. You're not hearing the same Todd Bowles that we're hearing. He can be fiery. He knows how to hit those guys when they need to be hit, and figuratively, not literally. He is the guy who understands this team. And you mentioned clock management. Like, know your strengths, know your weaknesses. If you have a weakness, do something, bring somebody in to help you make it a strength. And so far this year, clock management has been, I would say, a strength for the Buccaneers. So the evolution of Todd is really impressive. I'm with you, complete 180. And he is continuing to get better. He's got the trust of the team, and I think he's got the trust of his fan base as well. He's doing all he can. Think of the adversity. It is hard to fight through the adversity of all the injuries. Only a few great coaches can do it. You've seen it in San Francisco, great coach. You've seen it over the years in turnover with McVay and with the Rams, and you're seeing it this year with Todd Bowles. He's absolutely one of the best coaches in football, and that was not the case a couple years ago.
No doubt. What did you make of the Jonathan Gannon thing where he got fined $100,000 from his own team? It wasn't from the NFL. It was from his team. I mean, it was kind of wild. I mean, you think about it. I mean, that's a tough play. We see a lot of these guys dropping the football before the end zone. DeMarcado does it. What could have been a 72-yard touchdown run. I get he was frustrated, but, man, like this is – you got to be careful with stuff like this, don't you?
Yeah, that was literally hitting
that's why when you said that, I was like, I was going to ask that next anyway.
Yeah, so that was obviously not cool. The move to drop the football and let it go right for the end zone, not cool. That's got to stop. I don't know, understand. I get why your frustration would come into play, and then the team ended up losing the game they should have never lost. But you got to be a good coach, and sometimes being a good coach is knowing when to really go after your guys. And the kid's not an idiot. I mean, no one's dumb enough to not understand what you just did, right? He screwed up. And I'm sure he was beating himself up. And you can go up to him and be negative, right? Or hit him with something where it's like, what are you doing? But to physically get involved like that, when that's your player, you think that's going to help that guy come onto your side and stay on your side as a coach? Do you think other guys are going to respond well to that? No. So as straight up a coaching move, I don't think it was a good one. Do I think he needed to get in trouble, get fined by Arizona? No, like even though it was a team fine, self-implemented. No, I don't think so. Football, sometimes emotions, these guys get hot. But as just pure coaching move, I just don't think it was a smart move.
I feel like he's done in Arizona. I know they're 2-3. You lose to a winless team. I just feel like this could be the beginning of the end there, right? It's a really good division with the 49ers playing well. We know what the Seahawks, I was impressed by the Seahawks, right? And then you got the Rams. Like, you're already fighting an uphill battle, and now you got your head coach putting your hands on a young running back. Like, I could see this really, falling off a cliff. All right, before I let you go, man, what are your thoughts on the Lightning and the weekend ahead for Tampa Bay sports?
I think we have a huge weekend ahead. We don't sleep. We got with Friday night USF North Texas.
Yeah.
That's going to be a good one, but the season starts tomorrow. I really expect a lot from this Tampa Bay Lightning team. Obviously battling some key injuries early on before the season has even started. A lot of us are talking about Nikita Kucherov. I think a name we'll be talking about for a lot of the season, and I think he's going to have a huge season, is Jake Gensel. So I'm excited to really see what this team can do and the pieces around it. But I expect a lot from this team, and we've seen it in the preseason already with the Florida Panthers. Like, that is a legit rivalry. Those teams hate each other. So I think we're going to see that bleed on into the regular season. I mean, the penalty minutes we saw in those games were stupid. So I'm excited. I think the storyline of Florida, the Panthers, and the Lightning, is going to be an exciting one for the hockey world this year.
Yeah, I just put out a video because I said on the show Monday, I think right now it's the best rivalry in sports. And obviously you can't compare it historically to Michigan, Ohio State, and Yankees, Red Sox, and all that stuff. But right now, Like, we just watched Yankees Red Sox and they were like hugging each other on the bases. Like, this isn't Don Zimmer and Pedro Martinez. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's not the same. Michigan, Ohio State, yeah, it's great, but it's one time a year. Like, we're not talking about that rivalry right now. Like, they had almost 500 penalty minutes in 2 preseason games, and people are just watching the Panthers hoping that they get their ass beat every time. Like, that's saucy right now, buddy.
I told Pat, I was like, dude, Friday, I was like, on the show, I go, dude, I'm psyched for Saturday. I'm like, I'm gonna watch. He goes, preseason? I was like, yeah, dude, they're going to kill each other. I want to watch it.
Bro, I mean, and now they're bringing in all these different guys, the Lightning. They brought in Curtis Douglas, who's 6'9".
You have to. Dude. You have to. You've got to have an enforcer, right?
Bro, I mean, it's funny because we were going away from that, right? We're going away from that in hockey, less of those guys. And listen, Florida brought this upon themselves. They really did. This is the way you want to play. You want to, kind of play on the edge. Well, that's fine. November 15th, Amerant Bank Arena, 5 o'clock. That'll be the first time these two teams square off there, and it'll be in South Florida. Next time is, December 15th on a Monday night.
A couple months.
November 15th and December 15th. That's going to be awesome. Aaron Jacobson, Pat and Aaron Show, mornings, 6 a.m., 95.3 WDAE and AM 620. Let everybody know where else they can find you, brother.
At Jacobson on Air is where you can see me on social media. I put out a couple baseball picks for today.
So got the Yankees winning or what? No? Over?
You better finish your meal if you're Toronto. Don't let it go another game. Don't play with your meal. Finish it.
6-1 yesterday. 6-1, and they blew it. And I was like, man, they're playing well. And it just came all the way back.
When Aaron Judge came up there with first and second, it's like the story was written. I knew
it was. They said that 538 pitches have been inside over 99 miles an hour, and not one of them has been hit for a home run until last night. I was like, okay. People are like, how hard is that? I'm like, dude, you don't understand. You can't even see. If you're a normal human being, you can't see 99 right down the middle of the plate. This guy not only saw it, swung, hit it over the fence. He
had just seen a 100-mile-an-hour go right by him, and it was a beautiful swing. And I'm like, oh, if he touches that baseball, it is going a long way. And he did.
It should be harder. The ball's inside.
The
ball's inside, so he has less time to react.
Kept his hands inside, quick hands. You know the deal, coach.
Unbelievable. Aaron Jacobson, man, one of the leading hitters in the Pendingo history.
No.
Safe, man.
Walker, on base percentage, baby. I was the best.
Aaron almost fought a kid. What was he? A financial guy, an accountant. Aaron almost fought an accountant at first base one time because he was pissed off that Aaron walked 3 times in a row.
What do you want me to swing at balls?
They were scared of him. Idiot. They were scared of him.
Swing. Throw me a strike and I'll swing. Why do you think I'm standing here on first base? Because nobody threw me a strike, you moron.
There's still an ESPN article out somewhere that I doctored up that has Aaron's incredible accolades from the Pendingos. Aaron, appreciate the time. Give Pat my love, my friend. Give your family my love as well, and we'll talk to you again soon. Thanks for your time, buddy.
Thank you. Love you, brother. I'll talk to you soon.
Love you too, man. The one and only Aaron Jacobson, my guy. He's the best.